Again, welcome back to another video. So, yesterday I've made a video about the Android 5.0 simulation for the Samsung Galaxy S5 but on the web browser. So now I am going to be running Android on Windows. You could do it by getting a virtual machine on VirtualBox or VMware, but now I'm doing it on an application called Windroid or Windows Android by Socket EQ. You can get it from up to down or Softonic file hippo, that kind of stuff. We could see the old Android logo because it's booting up, and it's on the old version, and it's I believe 4.0, which is ice cream sandwich. So we need to minimize the terminal window and just unlock it. Android 2.0 Eclair was the first version to have a lock screen that allows unlocking by swiping, while 2.2 Froyo, which was released a year later, has the ability to unlock the phone with the pin. Or lock the phone with a pin so that you could prevent people from using it without permission. And yeah, it's like the stock Android. It is like an old version, but still works fine because it's like the tablet, which is like cellular because it can have the messaging and phone applications. And of course, you can be able to do something like making notes. I did make a video about running Android inside of Android, which was like the version 5.1.1, which is Lollipop. And it's like I did used to have like a Lenovo tablet, which was released in 2016. Yeah, which was like a blast from the past. But yeah, the physical keyboard actually works, and I don't want to save this note. Also, the camera might be it's not actually good. And of course, we had the older gallery app from 2.3 Gingerbread because the one that is called Gallery 2 or something like that doesn't work. Also, the calculator works. You can even do some math. But yeah, you can't make a Google account because Google Play Store, formerly Android Market, does not work. YouTube doesn't work, but wait a second. Did the apps just get removed? I think they disappeared. I think the same thing has happened for the home screen. You could even go and search for something, but unfortunately search has stopped. So I'm going to restart the app. Of course, the clock app was different, meaning you could only add alarms rather than having the world clock and adding timers. And yes, the home screen seems to be empty, so I'm gonna go and add the camera app and also the settings app. We haven't got live wallpapers because it doesn't work, because devices that run Android Go Edition, because they have 1 or 2 gigs of RAM, they cannot have live wallpapers, and I think they're now slow. Let's try going to search to see if it works. Yes, it does. Of course, web browsing works because since the YouTube app doesn't actually work, YouTube on the web browser works because Android 4.0 Ice Cream Sandwich is the required version for using the YouTube website. It says please update your browser because you need to use Microsoft Edge or Google Chrome or Mozilla Firefox or Opera. You can choose remind me later, but it would be a little bit sluggish. But yeah, I just don't want to show you any videos. Of course, you can even see emails. Gmail doesn't work, but the uh, built-in email app does. On Android 6.0 Marshmallow, with the release of Google's Nexus 5X and 6P, they've removed this app so you would use Gmail instead. On newer Samsung devices, you need to use like Gmail as default instead of Samsung email. Google Maps does not work because it says, unfortunately, Maps has stopped. It says updated to latest version, but that's not right. There's also something called like navigation places. There used to be like Movie Studio, and there's also DevTools because developer options are turned on, and we can see the package browser. And of course, we can even see the Easter egg, which was like what I mentioned with the others in the other video. Android 17 is going to be released soon this year because they've now made an Easter egg of it, which looks similar to Android 14, 15, and 16. I turned off the touch sounds and the keyboard sounds because it was just annoying. So double clicking on Android version, let's show something. And of course, we press or click and hold it, and yes, it gets bigger. It's a 9cat reference, which is like known as 9Droid. We see the wallpaper that Android 3.0 Honeycomb uses. You can even choose different wallpapers, but I just don't want to do that. Of course, calls don't actually work, though you can still add widgets to the home screen. You used to do that from the app drawer, because you know back then when you press and hold an empty space on the home screen, it lets you change the wallpaper, so I don't want to do that. There was no like quick settings or control center because this was different. You know how on iOS it was introduced in iOS 7 in 2013. Of course, it's like it says no internet connection rather than it being connected to Wi-Fi because we don't see it. The computer itself has it, so yeah. I think I'm kind of done because I gotta download an update because I have to restart. So if you like this video, just give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I might be making another video soon and I'm just having any troubles. So goodbye.